Now, cars.
Yes, why we're here. Well,
Absolutely. Well, you do love your cars. This much is obvious.
Yes. There's one primary reason. We were quite poor when we were growing up. We didn't have a car. My parents never, ever owned a car, and of course, didn't drive. In my street, there was one family that owned a car, and the Cloughs had this SS Jaguar. Jaguar. It's living in America.
Yeah.
You learn to say Jaguar.
Yeah. Well, you can unlearn it now, because we're back in...
Yes, I know. I know where we are. And not only was this a fabulously beautiful car, but the Cloughs had a very, very attractive daughter. You never know who's watching, of course, when you're saying this.
I hope she is watching this daughter. I don't know where we're going with this, but...
Valerie, are you still out there?
Yeah.
Because...
She's behind the sofa.
No, she said well...
Come on, what happened?
You missed out. Well, we used to, as I say in America,
Valerie Clough,
we would make out in the
Murfield?
back of the SS Jaguar. So it wasn't just that the... and by that, I mean, you know, heavy petting, as the term is. I wasn't quite sure at the time which excited me more, the heavy petting or being in the SS Jaguar.
Yeah.
I realized now, looking back, that I should have been excited by the Jaguar and not by the petting.
Nah, it's the double whammy, isn't it? Yeah, that's the great thing. They're lovely. And so is that because you do love your Jags?
I do, yes. I'm on my second one now, but this one that I've had for almost 14 years. I bought an XJS, the 12-cylinder, the big monster, convertible in 1989, and I simply couldn't get rid of it. I still think it's one of the most beautiful cars, production cars ever made. It's British Racing Green. It has wire wheels, which are a real nightmare because they're continually having to be tuned. No, it's not the clean. I have somebody who... I don't have to clean the wire wheel.
He's on more than 130 quid a week, isn't he, if he's got someone cleaning his wire wheels?
I have a wire wheel cleaning man who comes to me to clean them.
And this is the car you've bequeathed to your...
Yeah, it's in my will. It's actually named in my will. I told my son that he was going to get it. He's getting sod all else by it. And the car isn't actually worth that much.
I was going to say, if you're not going to sell it because you're going to give it to your son, it's going to be, frankly, he's going to get £1.50, isn't he? Let's be honest.
On the other hand, look at it this way. It is Captain Picard's Jaguar, and that's got to do something.
£2.50, Ari, yes. Can you have fun driving in America? Because I find it really quite tricky over there. Even if we ignore the telephone malarkey.
Well, if you find it fun to practice defensive driving, you know what I mean, constantly, then it can be fun, it can be interesting, because you're always preparing for the worst to happen. What I've enjoyed have been the long road trips. I love driving out into the desert. I love going up into Northern California and taking several days and just driving, and especially...
But where are the corners? Where are those lovely corners?
Well, there are, on the freeways you don't get many, but there is one famous place, at least for Angelinos, it's famous. There's a section of Sunset Boulevard. It's just in Brentwood, but it's right before Brentwood becomes Beverly Hills.
You know what he's talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't, he's no idea.
There are these 3 banked corners on Sunset. It's known as Dead Man's Curve. You've got a right-hander, a left-hander, and a right-hander, and they're very steeply banked, I mean, in the right direction. And those of us who love doing that kind of thing, we will hang back so that we get a gap between us and the vehicles in front. And then as you approach a corner, hit the gas and hope that there's nobody around watching, no police cars parked in the side streets. And then you can do these turns as if you're, you know, in a Formula One car. The only problem is that a homeowner right there has a sprinkler system. and it comes on at the wrong time of day. So you can hit this, say, at 12 o'clock in the morning, and the road suddenly becomes like glass, and it can be dodgy.
Exciting. No traction control on your XJS either.
No traction control on that. My wife has a Mercedes CL 500, which is an extraordinary vehicle, and you'd be perfectly safe with that.
Panzer tank.
No, it's not a tank, actually. No, the CL is not a tank.
It's a heavy thing.
It's a lot of car, but it's a 2-door.
Weighs more than the Enterprise, that thing does. So, you've been out this morning in the Suzuki Liana.
Yes.
How do you think you got on?
Well, I'm not too optimistic about my best. I know. I mean, you know, you might be looking... I would love to beat Gambon.
Gambon?
Yes.
What was his time? Well, 1 minute 55, but he was in the
1:55.
wet. You'd like to have beaten Gambon.
Yeah, I would. I mean, you know, he's a colleague and an excellent actor, but I would...
He was
I would
also...
like to see him eat my dust.
He was also the man who did the most spectacular manoeuvre out there.
I heard that.
2 wheels around the corner.
I heard
Shall we
about
find
that.
out, everyone? Yeah. Let's play it. That's a great sight. You off the bridge and in a Suzuki. Ooh, it's serious. How did you find the car?
Ordinary.
Ooh, sliding a bit wide there, a little bit too much power, if I might be so bold.
I look good though, don't I?
You look good. You look the part.
The
hammerheads. That's the thing. That's where Jodie Kidd was quick. She wasn't overdriving it. Ooh, that's very fast. Right, here we are, coming up to Gambon Corner. And you're across the line, everybody. So, you want to hazard a guess? Whiteley?
Yeah, I guess.
2 years, 2 light years, actually, you know, and 6 warps or whatever it is.
Yes.
Well, in fact, you did it, and welcome to a very exclusive little club in 1 minute, 50 seconds. Same time. No kidding. That's the same time as me, same time as Jamie Oliver, same time as Gordon Ramsay. I find that a reasonable time to do it in, don't you?
You've just made me very, very happy.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might buy the show out tonight and go on the town.
No, really, you're a second faster than Gambon. And so there we are, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Stewart!
Thank you.